As you can see, I'm in Diwali celebration mode and I'm gonna make my favorite Diwali sweet to go along with it. Here in the Caribbean, we celebrate our rich and diverse heritage every day in every pot. The story of our shared experiences is told in every bite of our favorite dishes. Join us as we explore Caribbean cuisine, where every dish is simply local. I'm making my favorite Diwali sweet today, and that is Gulab Jamun, or some people may know Fat Kurma. Gulab Jamun has a really special place in my heart. My sister would make this every single Diwali and I would love it. Usually I'd be upstairs doing something else on Diwali and I'd come downstairs and it would just be ready in front of me, and it's so delicious. It's my favorite. Usually she does not make it with ginger, but today I'm actually gonna make it the more traditional way and put ginger in it. So this recipe actually is kind of a mix of her recipe, and then last year I made Gulab Jamun using Reshmi's recipe from Taste of Trini. So shout out to Reshmi. But I'm gonna kind of put my spin on the Gulab Jamun. So without further ado, let's jump right in and get started. Right before we jump into this treat, if you are loving eatahfood and Simply Local, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and like us on Facebook as well. So what we're gonna start off with, we have some all-purpose flour here, and today I'm using the Cuisine all-purpose flour. So I have just 2.5 cups here, and I'm gonna add an extra cup. And to this, I'm gonna add my secret ingredient, and that is toasted milk powder. So a few moments before, I literally just put some milk powder into a pan and then moved it around and stirred it until it kind of got brown. And what this does, it actually adds to a depth and richness of flavor, and it almost adds like a kind of toasty caramel note to the Gulab Jamun, which I think is super delicious and a little bit different. And of course, milk powder makes any dessert more rich because you're adding those milk solids in. It's so delicious. Next, I'm going to add my cardamom or elaichi powder. You can add more or less depending on how much you enjoy cardamom. I really love cardamom, so I'm adding a bit. Definitely smell it already. And then to this, I'm adding some cube butter and cube shortening that I've kind of just chopped up beforehand, and I put it in the freezer so they're actually extremely cold. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rub the butter and shortening into my dry ingredients so that it becomes nice and crumbly. So this is what kind of gives you that nice crummy texture when you're eating the Gulab Jamun. So I'm just gonna break it up in my fingers and literally just kind of squish it in and rub it in. You can do this by hand, or if you have a food processor at home, you can easily just kind of blitz it and almost make like a pie dough. But I'm doing this the good old-fashioned way. I'm doing this by hand, so we're probably gonna have to speed this up a bit. Okay, so I've been crumbling this up for about, honestly, it took me maybe like 5 minutes to do. And you can see it kind of has that wet, sandy texture. It almost is, you really feeling the butter throughout it, and it smells so good, the butter and the toasted milk powder and the cardamom. Oh, I'm so excited. But these are the things that's gonna help you make sure that your Gulab Jamun isn't like hard, you're not gonna break your tooth on it, it's gonna be nice and crumbly. I can't wait. So let's continue. I'm going to add my flour mixture into a large bowl, as you can see, and you really don't wanna play. Once you have the texture you want, you don't want to play with it too much, because then your hands will start to melt the butter and the shortening too much, and then it's not going to come together as nice. So to this mixture, I'm going to add some sweetened condensed milk, and I'm using Cuisine sweetened condensed milk for this recipe. And this is where the sweetness of the actual dough comes in, because you're going to have sweetness in the dough, and then you're going to have it with the sugar when we crystallize the sugar syrup when we're finished frying. So I'm just going to add some of the condensed milk, and then next I'm going to add some Cuisine full cream evaporated milk. So I'm going to start with adding just a 1/4 cup, and I'm going to add more if we need it. So using clean hands, I'm just going to bring the dough together, and I'm kind of looking for like almost like a cookie dough kind of texture. So soft, but not too soft either. grease the bowl. And I'm gonna drop the dough in. And it's not like we have yeast in this or anything. It just needs to rest because we've worked a lot of gluten in the flour, letting it relax for a little bit, and that would help us get that nice, soft, crumbly gulab jamun. All right, so about 30 minutes has passed, and now it's time to form our actual logs of dough. So you can see it's like, it feels like cookie dough essentially. So I'm actually gonna just put some oil on my hands, and I'm just gonna grab some. If you wanna be super precise, you can weigh each piece, but I ain't got the time. So I am just going to eyeball it and form my little logs. So just kind of forming them together. And what you really want to do is you want to kind of pinch them in such a way that it seals the cracks. Because if you have cracks in them, when you put them in the oil, it will burst open. So I want them to look very nice and uniform and neat. So we're just kind of taking our time and doing that. So I'm now frying my gulab jamun, and I let the oil heat up for about 10 minutes. And now I'm adding them in one by one. And what's important is that you have to kind of roll them in the oil so that it doesn't get brown only on one side, and it kind of gets like a nice even brown. So I'm gonna add a couple more. Right now I have about 3 in, but I don't want to be frying here all day because I want to get to eating. So kind of have to kill about 7 birds with one stone, huh? All right, so we fried our gulab jamun here, looking good. So now moving on to our syrup. And what I did is I just have 2 parts sugar, 1 part water. So 2 cups of sugar and 1 cup of water. And I'm just bringing this to a boil, and I'm gonna let it boil until it gets kind of nice and thick and syrupy. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna roll the gulab jamun in with the syrup, and it's gonna crystallize really well. So just stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled. All right, so before I forget, we have some freshly grated ginger here that I'm just gonna add right in. And by all means, if you'd rather not have ginger, then you could just leave that out, but we're doing with ginger today. So without further ado, which one shall I have? I'm gonna go for this one here. As you can see, it has this like beautiful lacquer on it. It's still a little warm, but you know me, I'm a glutton for punishment and a glutton, so I might risk a little bit of burning. It's honestly not that hot, I'm playing. But it could be a bit cooler, but I can't wait anymore. I kind of like the warm gulab jamun. Just gonna break it open. And there you go, super crumbly. Super tender inside. It's exactly what you want. You can bag these up for your friends and your family as a little Diwali gift. I'm just gonna eat these myself. So if you want the full recipe, you can find it in the link provided at eatahfood.com. And a special thanks to our friends at Cuisine for sponsoring this video. Cuisine products can be found at all Massey stores nationwide. And on behalf of Simply Local and the Eat a Food channel family, we wish you all a happy and safe Diwali. And we will see you next time. Bye.